Shalom and welcome to Students of Torah. This year is entitled Daf Yomi B Kuf Samech Dalid. So the Gemara is talking about star contracts and how do we know the authenticity of this contract? Maybe someone's playing around with it. And the Gemara talks about that when it's erased and rewritten, then it's certainly a cause for great concern for us. Then maybe someone's hampered with it. And maybe when we have the witnesses signing, in reality, they signed one document and then it was rewritten afterwards because you see it was erased. So how do we know at what point they signed? Are they signing on the original document? Are they signing on an erased document? They knew that it was erased and rewritten. So it's a complicated situation. So at one point the Gemara says, Amid Aleph, the end of the daf, it says, why not have it by Beit Din? Well, Beit Din will oversee it and they'll check the document. And then we know that it's fine. That if it was erased, the witnesses signed after it was rewritten. So it says that we have to be concerned for the possibility of Beit Din To'in, of a Beit Din making a mistake. The commentators, Rashbam points out, meaning what? That to say that they are midayek and they were very precise in analyzing the shtar, the document, and they could tell whether it was a forgery, and be an expert at whether it was written, erased, rewritten, and when the witnesses signed on it, that's a whole nother area of expertise. We understand that there's a typical shtar. A typical shtar means what? That's written out, there's witnesses, the Beit Din looked, and everything is fine. But now we're getting into specific science of understanding erased notes and knowing when it was signed on, when it was erased, where the witness is really on top of everything, and the Beit Din managing all this may not be their expertise. And therefore, this may not be good advice to solve the challenge of knowing if an erased document is a proper document or not. There's an important point over here regarding Beit Din. We trust the Beit Din. We rely on Beit Din. Unfortunately, a lot of times people say nasty things about Batei Dinim, and sometimes the Beit Din is not always perfect and earns a bad reputation, tragically. But the normal assumption is we have Beit Din, and we don't know anything bad about it. We assume, hopefully, that the Dan L'Kaf Sachot, Rav Asher Weiss is based in America, RCA Beit Din, some very reputable Beit Din. And that is the natural assumption. Certainly when it's a name that's mukad, that's recognized. This Mishnah, the Gemara here specifically pointing out that it might be a specific skill that we don't necessarily assume that a Beit Din is going to be involved in being expert at. So it's important to know that this Gemara is limiting the Beit Din capabilities in a specific case, but in general, hopefully we could find a Beit Din with a proper reputation. There's plenty of them around, and they could go ahead and come and bring us to clarity. Shalom.